Okay, so this section of the chapter is about finding intersection points of graphs, and the first intersection points we want to look at are the x and the y intercepts. Okay, so what does that mean? Firstly, well, you've done the y-intercept plenty of times before, but we're going to start with a picture of function. Okay, so let's take a look at the red line. All right, we know that our intersection points, our x-intercept is this point here on the red line where it crosses the x-axis, and our y-intercept is this point here where it crosses the y-axis. Okay, now we already know how to find the y-intercept just by looking at the formula, but what are we actually doing in this case? To find the y-intercept, what we actually do is we let x equal 0. And now that we're using function notation, that means we would find the f of 0. Okay? And in the case of this function, we had y equals minus x plus 5. Remember, we're looking at the red line. So the function of 0 is going to be, f of 0 is minus 0 plus 5, okay, which is simply 5. Okay, so for our y-intercept, we have 0, 5. Okay, the x-intercept is just the opposite. So instead of making x equals 0, so for x-intercept, instead of making x equals 0, we let y equals 0. Or function notation, this would be the f of x equals 0. Okay, so in the case of this same line, we would have 0 equals minus x plus 5. Okay, we can take the x to the other side, so we're going to add x to both sides, and therefore we get x is equal to 5. So our x-intercept is going to be 5, 0. Okay, we'll quickly do that again with the other graph that we have here. So let's have a look at this with the blue line, just to make sure that we understand how to do it. We'll drag it down here so we can keep it on our screen. All right, so this time we have this lovely function here. So if we want to find the y-intercept, okay, we do the function of 0, which in this case is a half of 0 minus 3. We know that 0 times anything is 0, so we get minus 3. So our y-intercept is going to be 0 minus 3. Okay, for the x-intercept, remember in this case we make f(x) equals 0, so we get 0 equals a half x minus 3. All right, let's get the half x by itself. So what I'm going to do is move 3 to the other side. So we get 3 equals a half x. Normally I would also write this the other way around, but let's just keep it straightforward at the moment. To get x by itself, we can multiply by 2. So we get x is equal to 6. All right, so our x-intercept here is 6, 0. And you should be able to see this. So in this case, we could actually look at it on the graph, but that's not always going to be the case. Okay, so this is how you find your x and your y intercepts.